Kusangpo and welcome to Bhutan This Week. I am Sherab Zangmo. Our top stories of the week. His Majesty awarded Druk Thukse medals to former Drabi Lebe Kilegese and the founder of India-Bhutan Friendship Association, R.N. Anil, on the 106th National Day celebrations. In his address to the nation on the 106th National Day celebrations, His Majesty the King underscored both economic and social challenges that Bhutan faced in the past. And more than 600 structures, including schools, houses and lakangs, have been damaged by windstorm in 11 dzongkhaks earlier this week. In his address to the nation on 106th National Day celebrations, His Majesty the King underscored both economic and social challenges that Bhutan faced in the past and will face in the future.
Digi juwa de trip de lo, ngachara gyakap na lo tab madiyo e tiong se. Debo de tab madiyo temda, ka chisho de ra, ngache tab madiyo lo droni meong, tseni meong, ka chisho de ra ngachara tab madiyo su donlen beshimda, kaya lapchi ka tup, tabshi nekab leishim be tundi, tsagendi be cha shuwa chin, ngachara tab madiyo su se masupchi meong se. Te tab madiyo su ngachi dulumbalu tonul te ngachi gaare ki mi ki tonsail ta darina bagi netang ta dere berul ngachi rengyo khangsun gaare laga jabdol mi bile midin gaamindol ta ngachi mi phasha ngachi gyakhabre beru hamalere bile bomiyesa ta loji wo loji bile di ya jejuegale te tepjira 자게 랑급 주면 ngachara gyakab ki belede terbum jalhabchide jidul chaji chubegi longagi rinle ngachara ki belegi ngodera majiwa ke tatabgira terbum gudechi jusnol da chaji chuchigi longai rilu te torara ke terbum changade jitabubdul ta ngachara mesesu beru 나이지 지갈로 별의 잠도도베 토베스 가야라기 별을렌 짐잡 때다 짐 주비갈렌 드미미 마토바 가를 나가잡들 메랄루진 랑기 원법데 튼투비기 뒤시사고 마토블텐 다 가야라 구톰드비 리돌 다 중베르다 마저르 메세베르다 기도도 자기디 다수코스치돌 ngacheregi tengkungdi 뉴스지에서 또 로지고 로지 세로디 마수 당고 베갈래 지카투 땅 지카투 제뉴말 뒤질란 상패 멜람베사 대단 ngacheregi 개합날로 라미비기 강에 된돌 당nga체라 파마기 레와리시든 당nga체라 알루부수수 조연들레 된디베 까말론 진지 대숲존이 딜 ngacheregi najunzugin rawadi 초연들레된 라지 레짐베 톱 로슈마 미 좀서 조들로 돈텐톱 존이 딜 대단 라미비기 강에 되미갈은 ngacheregi najunsu 가야라 데 베시차시 가네 마톤 bun감 셈시 데 주탄줄로 녜즈레 랄렌탑 장아레퉁 때 대버라 때 구톰드 빌리멜 당아체라 개갑널로 로지고 로지 라미비기 강에데 마수 템부고로 다 개족술로 주던 자지 주지기 롱아이 리로 로더 진도 마루 뉴루 마체라 두게 갑널로 라 똥트 켈라브르 조급돌 때 아니 조마수바진 해말레르 답마디 두사 때답마디스 탭지라 파드베 조니말 때 록미 주강디 가지기 예식이 노업세 데벨랍이래 데벨랍 고미기 된다데 록미 주강디 가지 미지드니기 멤발라 록미 주강디 가지라 두게합기 도데 가지라 미세기 주노롱지일 때 딩아버 진디 가지기 라비 다 록미 주강수 가데 마마가지 시투고 베세 kauchikdera beru ramidera beru jengali suetishimda ngachara lokmi chugangdera zote machin loshuma lokmi chugangi ombableten ngachara gyakhabda misegi tab madusu gara lejimbe sesuse te darita uda ngachi shebal da ngachara mi jangga ya zebigulu da gobdi lashichira themigalen da lokmi chugang jamjigi ngachara ki serudi damizumbal da dipaja 도도순지기 바나 ngachara julumbalu sanamgi gomphegi chaladi name same zoduile indra beru dari nabata dibe beuda ngachara sanida thuni te nale mathemigale te phile bagondibe digi dendele lotarjindu terbum dün lapjidudola te toro terbum dün zoda disaya tonre dünimbale te dan rupi malambigi kangi themigulu ta chachegi gonsu gaara ya jigjugale ta ngachara misisu gaara sagelandi vidule te geb ngaral sagelandi vidule ta ngara khatule din kade tata lasan namdagi tole tu mashobe ngachara gyakabde miselu chashunla ngachara jura beru 자기 bombe로 박드베 자수서 돈멜 ngachara misigin ranjigibe bunda shudi te ngachara gyakhabnalu töratyong digi taga hibdadi ngarakatule dokpa matapulera mil ta chile tawachin darigi netang tawdalu ngachara gi tab madiusu gaara dusekalu lejimbe se matsun tama kyasa bombera kyonsa 대보다 질에 따와진 나라 고갑남에 섬에 레심치 도멜레 당아처럼 나 둘lum발로 가라 침진하게 메숨에 랍지가 튑 노솜 집에다 갱카 단더베 박드베 마처럼 갱카블로 차 레심베 슈 라자겐 배워진 다른 아버기 답 마디우수 세 마습지디 마통라 디나드니레 ngachara tab madiusu lejim be seigolo ngachara gyakabdi tariwa dingdi tariwa lejim zoni ki kokabdi duradul.
Also on the National Day celebrations, His Majesty, before awarding the medals, explained that civil servants need to be recognized and awarded for their commitment to this awasum.
Te ta charagi lejim be shiongla ngachara dulumbalu Nahile Gaon Tuchikalu Naraka Seshimda, the Tuchi, Machara Shiopsu, Cha Lejimbe Shujuleten, Tigi, Karigasuki Takmasu Pil, Takmasu Kazakhamler, Lejimbe Tam, Tendeti, the Tarigao Tuchikalu, Marakatule, Shiopsulu, Tashi de Leul. The Titakma Pingomiki Dendadi, Machara Misiki Shegopil. Tambara. 도토순치기 바나 마저르 두게갑 기찰스 제비갑로 두게 숨마기 갑레 마저르 시옵스기 튜 마쇼베 짜겐디베르 차슈일 나라 얍 트리토콜루 펩디베 롱오 숨추소지 게럽네 츠비기 찰라 제브마세 나 도시기 사고날레 뚠디베 마저르 게갑 딘디조돌레 딩아에 마저르 시옵스기 Tusho mebabe zagendibe chashuil. Tangare gepe genga baktibe lo mai ripchi asi. Toto sunsugi pane zonga kechi da geog nijanga. Yugo yuri yusechibna lo ngacharegi shiopsugi de zagendibe chashudol. De cha lejimbe shundigi de ngachare shiopsulu de karigasugi takmayil.
The 106th National Day was dedicated to civil servants. His Majesty, in his address, highlighted their commitment to the development of Bhutan since the time of Fort Truk Gyalpo.
After the royal address to the people, His Majesty the King awarded Lifetime Service Award to 261 public servants who superannuated from the service on 20th May 2011 till 30th June 2013. His Majesty also awarded National Order of Merit gold medals to 121 principals and teachers who have been in the service for 30 years, of which 29 are teachers teaching in some of the remote schools in the country. After receiving the awards and medals from His Majesty the King, this is what the recipients have to say.
While in service, I served the Tsawasum with dedication, and today I am honored to receive the award from His Majesty the King. If given opportunity, I will serve the nation with utmost dedication. I am delighted to receive the award from His Majesty the King for my service to the nation.
Under the Royal Command, the Royal Civil Service Commission recently gave away gold, silver and bronze medals to civil servants for their service to the Tsawasum. Gold medals were given to those who have been in the service for 30 years or more, and those who completed 20 years and above in the service were awarded silver medals, while the civil servants who have been serving for 10 years and more received bronze medals. Some of the recipients of the medals shared that this kind of recognition from His Majesty the King will inspire them to serve the Tsawasum at their best. The Royal Civil Service Award was instituted this year and will therefore be an annual event in coming years. The Royal Civil Service Commission was established in June 1982. Pemal Hatin for BBS News.
His Majesty awarded the Druk Thukse to former Drabi Libe Kilegelsen and R.N. Anil, the founder of India-Bhutan Friendship Association.
His Majesty the King awarded the highest civilian award, Druk Thukse, to former Drabi Libe Kilegelsen and the founder and the Secretary General of Indo-Bhutan Friendship Association, R.N. Anil. Lam Kilegelsen served as Drabi Libe from 1999 to 2002. Lam Kilegelsen joined the monastic body at the age of 7. He was also the committee member during the drafting of the Constitution of the Kingdom of Bhutan. Lam Kilegelsen is currently serving as the principal of Lekshi Juni Shedra in Punakha. Similarly, the founder and the Secretary General of Indo-Bhutan Friendship Association, R.N. Anil, also received the Druk Thukse Medal. The Indo-Bhutan Friendship Association was formally established in 1978 under his initiative. For 40 years, he worked for the association to bring in people-to-people contact, promoting relationship between the two countries. R.N. Anil, who is 80 years old, said this is the greatest honor in his life and is close to his heart because of his affinity with Bhutan.
For 40 years, I promoted Indo-Bhutan relations on behalf of India-Bhutan Friendship Association. And I've done a lot of things which helped in coming closer day by day. And today we say we are enjoying exceptional relations, modern relations between two countries. And I'm proud to say that I played a little modest role in that, in bringing these relations to this level.
The Druk Thukse Award is conferred to those people who had contributed in a variety of ways to the socio-economic, religious and political development and growth of Bhutan. Pematsuki for BBS News.
His Majesty King has conferred Red Scarf to Drangpen Sringwangchuk of the Supreme Court. He was the lone recipient of Pura Map on the 106th National Day celebrations.
Drangpen Sringwangchuk naong ko bala.
When His Majesty the King called his name, Drangpen Sringwangchuk was completely taken aback. The Justice of Supreme Court humbly told BBS that the honor was totally unexpected. What made the honor even more significant and prestigious for the 50-year-old Drangpen from Thimphu was the fact that he was the only recipient of Red Scarf at the National Day celebration today.
Firstly, it was certainly overwhelming and a humbling experience, especially to be awarded and to be the lone recipient of a Pura Map during the 106th National Day celebration. That also coinciding with a very auspicious day. I, being in the judiciary having changed its cabinet to green, Yudok, never expected or never had any aspirations of expectations of being awarded a Red Scarf.
Drangpen Sringwangchuk says he understands the responsibility that comes with wearing Pura Map.
But once being awarded as commanded by His Majesty, I believe and would like to do my best to fulfill the command of His Majesty, saying that it's once you are awarded a scarf, it is not just an award, but it is imposing responsibility on you. And then, having been elevated to the Supreme Court in 2010, and the requirements of the law, which states that you can be in the Supreme Court for 10 years or 65, whichever is before. So I have another 6 more years to go. So I would like to do my best to serve the people, the king, people, and the government of Bhutan.
Drangpen Sring Wangchuk has a long career history in the country's judiciary. He started as a legal officer with the High Court in September 1987. He had served as the Justice of High Court from 2006 to 2010. Before that, he was the judge of Samru-Jongkhar District Court. He was appointed as the Justice of Supreme Court, his current post in 2010. A graduate of St. Stephen College in New Delhi, Drangpen Sring Wangchuk has a LLM from George Washington University in the US. He also has a diploma from International Institute of Human Rights in France. Sonam Lhamo for BBS News.
His Majesty also awarded the National Order of Merit Gold and medals of appreciation to several individuals.
His Majesty the King conferred the National Order of Merit to Maina Kharka and Kakat Sring. Maina Kharka and Kakat Sring were recognized for their exceptional services to the Tawasum. Maina Kharka served in the Education Ministry for over 30 years in various capacities. She also served as the officiating director in the Department of Adult and Higher Education. She is currently working as Deputy Registrar at the South Asian University in India's capital, New Delhi.
I am very humbled and honored to have been bestowed with this great recognition. I will continue to be working hard and live up to the expectation of their majesties, and also continue to serve the Tawasum in the best of the manner that I can. I think I must admit that this recognition is not for me alone. It is for all of us in the education sector. And I urge all my teachers, all my fellow teachers, to work hard, to strive hard with utmost dedication.
56-year-old Kakat Sring joined the civil service in 1982 as a range officer. He is currently the chief forest officer in Paro. The principal of Ugin Academy, Norbu Gelson, received a white company without fringe and pata from His Majesty the King. He is the first serving principal to receive such an honor. He has been in the teaching profession for the last 25 years. He also served as royal tutor for 12 years. Norbu Gelson was the first National Scout Commissioner and Career Program Officer. Pematsuki for BBS News.
Over 600 structures, including schools, houses, geog centers and lagangs, have been damaged by windstorm earlier this week. 11 Dzongkhaks have been affected, with Paro being the worst hit. Ha Dzongkhak has also suffered extensive damage. The windstorm swept across the 11 Dzongkhaks on the evening of last Saturday and continued through Sunday morning. And by the time it subsided, it left behind a trail of destruction. It has blown off the roofs of the structures. Home and Cultural Affairs Minister Tamshi Dorji said the government will do anything to ensure that people get back their roofs as soon as possible.
So on 15th December 2013, yesterday, Bhutan witnessed a very unexpected depression and windstorm, which has affected a total of 12 Dzongkhaks, a total of 47 gyoks, in which residential houses of more than 600 households have been damaged. Especially the roofs have been overblown, and a total of 34 lagangs and gyönjes have also been damaged. We also witnessed the damages to 13 schools and ECRs, 5 VHUs and ORCs, and 2 geo offices have also suffered damages. I have been personally to Ha and Paro districts, and I have met with a lot of our households, the families who have suffered a lot of damages to their houses. the government is equally concerned. So yesterday, the Honorable Prime Minister and also the Honorable Chairman of the National Council and myself, we have visited Ha Dzongkhag, and today I have visited a couple of villages and geoks in Paro Dzongkhag as well. The damages have been extensive. In particular, most of the houses have lost their whole roofs, and people have suffered a lot of damages to other properties as well. However, we are happy that they can still use their houses despite the roofs being blown away, and that at least saves the people from having to stay outside in the cold winter nights. The Dzongkhags, all the Dzongkhags have been directed to coordinate with the RICB officials and to immediately make assessments. The assessments have started from today, and we have requested the RICB to ensure that the people get their compensations, their insured amount as soon as possible, so that they can start reconstructing their houses. On the government's part, we will do everything we can to ensure that our people who have suffered losses in this windstorm can get their roofs over their head as soon as possible. So His Majesty has also instructed the RBA and the DESUS to help the victims, and they have already started working with the public, with the Dzongkha officials, to ensure that no risky structures are there, so that that they will pose danger and risk to the lives of the people, especially children. And work has already been started. Assessments by the RSV people have also been started. So I request our public who have been affected by this windstorm to be calm, to ensure that no dangerous structures remain, so that it does not pose any risk and harm to their children, to older people, and even to your livestock. Also, I request the people to ensure that no fire hazards are caused because of these structures which have been thrown all over the place. So you have to take care of the fire. I also requested the power department to restore electricity as soon as possible. So we want to assure that the government will do everything in its power to ensure that our people have, roofs again over their head in the least possible time.
The Ambassador of India to Bhutan, Mr. V.P. Haran, handed over a cheque amounting to 1.5 billion rupees to the Finance Minister, Namgyal Dorji, in the presence of the Prime Minister, Sring Topgye, last week. The money is for the economic stimulus plan. The Government of India has committed 5 billion rupees for the ESP, and the first release of rupees 1 billion was made on 29 October this year. Lack of professionalism in media and the sustainability of media houses are among the challenges confronting the Bhutanese media, states the Bhutan Information and Media Impact Study Report 2013. The report was released by the Ministry of Information and Communications on Wednesday.
Other challenges noted in the report are unbalanced and urban-centric media coverage, limited media literacy and education programs, as well as difficult access to information for the public. Legal, policy and regulatory challenges were also observed. The report, however, has a set of recommendations, the key focus being on prioritization of initiatives to enhance media professionalism through implementation of a more focused and coordinated approach to human resources development. For sustainability of media houses, the report recommends that advertising be explored beyond the public sector. Accelerating media literacy and public education programs has also been suggested. Along with the recommendations, the Information and Communications Secretary says media professionals have a huge responsibility.
The fact that media is a reflection of the society, of our society, we'd like to be proud of our media. We'd like to be comfortable that media is reflecting Bhutanese society in an accurate sense, okay? Not misleading in any way. So this is something which we would, a huge responsibility, I would say, that falls on individual journalists.
Dashukin Ledoji adds that social media once challenged the role of journalist, but not anymore.
In fact, forget professionalism, even lack of decency in many cases. So therefore the need for professionals also in the social media, also in the digital world. So journalists have to continue to be journalists. And from the government side, and this ministry being responsible, what we want to do is not from a control perspective, but from a development perspective. Trust that our professionals will be professionals, will try to be professionals.
The Bhutan Information and Media Impact Study happens once every 5 years. The first Information and Media Impact Study in Bhutan was carried out in 2003. Bemal Haden for BBS News.
A feasibility study is being done with the airborne electromagnet or AEM from Europe to construct a road tunnel from Thimphu to Wangdi Phodrang. The plan to construct a road tunnel has been there for quite some time now.
This odd-looking apparatus is the airborne electromagnet, which will be used to scan the proposed tunnel route. It is attached with various gadgets that will scan the area. A team from the Norwegian Geotechnical Institute and SkyTem from Denmark will be doing the survey.
If you know a metal detector, it works a little bit like that. It's just much bigger, much more powerful, and it looks many hundred meters into the ground and tells you what is in there. What sort of geology, whether there's water, whether there's clay, whether there's hard rock. What you can do with it is that you can reduce the number of your drillings afterwards, so reduce your hours in the field. It gives you an overview about the geology. And useful targets are how deep is it until you have bedrock, how much sediments have you, where you have weakness zones that can pose a risk for tunneling or also generally for natural hazards.
A chopper will airlift the airborne electromagnet and make 10 runs along the proposed tunnel area. The tunnel will start at Yesipang in Thimphu and end at Nabisa at Wangdi Phodrang. The airborne electromagnet will help reduce cost and also tunneling risk. It can scan up to 700 meters into the earth, but because of Bhutan's topography and vegetation, it is expected to be able to scan about 200 meters deep. The Department of Geology and Mines will be conducting drilling early next year for an extensive study. It is being done to bring out a cost estimate. The building of the road tunnel depends largely on the results of the study. Tenzin Rapke, BBS News.
That's all for this week's edition, and thank you for watching.